don't know what to say. I think that
free SHS is not working.
The leadership of this country is failing. And when I say leadership, I'm not even talking about political leadership, religious leadership, traditional leadership. And they are all hiding behind, oh, we are adults. We are grown. If you're grown, go home and sit with your grandchildren. Because if we continue to feed you, we continue to give you privileges, we continue to afford you things that make your life comfortable, and you treat children like this, and I can guarantee, look, the leadership of the school, like this morning, somebody from the GES with an overstarched shirt or whatever it is, with some spectacle that looks like the bottom of a Coca-Cola bottle, the old one, the thick one, will go there and be threatening them and be asking them why and how they allowed journalists to get into the school. They do that all the time.
Yeah, we know.
Then the Minister for Education will come and say, oh, let's train assertive children. How do you train assertive children in this one? Mr. Process, how do you train assertive children in this one? I mean, how do you train assertive children in this one? And their children are not in these schools. My heart is pained this morning. I mean, and we're all sitting pretty. Either we are coconut heads or we are witches and wizards.
Yeah. We need prayers. That's why National Days for
another useless venture.
Can you imagine?
A very, very useless venture, if you ask me.
No,
I have told, no, I have to relax. I've told the men of God, respectfully, I'm a Christian. The people who appear in your churches, and those who are in the churches, branches across the country, who engage in galamsey, who bring the fat offerings, tithes, and whatever it is, when you mount the pulpit, tell them to their faces that they are the problems. If they are an armed robber in the church, you would let them know. If there were prostitutes in the church, sometimes you take a general swipe at them. But then you will also organize counseling sessions for them to be able to renew their minds out of it. Here we are. Here we are today. And I was reading the Bible yesterday. Daniel, look for Lamentations chapter 5.
Daniel, look for Lamentations.
And put it on the screen. It will describe for you where we are as a country. And it will describe for you the hypocrisy. And it will describe for you the mojo attitude. And it will describe for you the see something, say nothing attitude, which most of our elders in our society have taken. When I showed that video of the children eating a teaspoon of tuna and that rice, somebody said, oh, it's a primary school feeding program. I'm going to take it and I'm showing it at secondary school. I shouldn't do that. Which secondary school in this country gives children, the JSS in this country, gives children pantry bowls and ladle to share their own food by the table head?
It is SHS.
Which primary school? We see the school feeding program, how chaotic it is, how children are put under. In fact, we don't even have facilities in the basic school for school feeding program. We don't. So what did our children do wrong? These are supposed to be the future leaders. And you think that when they get an opportunity to leave the country, they won't go and never and vow not to come back. Danny, let's read the Bible.
What did you say? Lamentations what?
Lamentations chapter 5.
Okay.
The whole chapter. Let's read it. The first one. Roland, you read it.
Remember, O Lord, what has happened to us. Look and see our disgrace. Our inheritance has been turned over to aliens, our homes to foreigners. We have become orphans and fatherless, our mothers like widows. We must buy the water we drink. Our wood can be had only at a price. Those who pursue us are at our heels. We are weary and find no rest. We submitted to Egypt and Assyria to get enough bread. Our fathers sinned and are no more, and we bear their punishment. Slaves rule over us, and there's none to free us from their hands. We get our bread at the risk of our lives because of the sword in the desert. Our skin is hot as an oven, feverish from hunger. Women have been ravished in Zion and virgins in the towns of Judah. Princes have been hung up by their hands. Elders are shown no respect. Young men toil at the millstones. Boys stagger under the loads of wood. The elders are gone from the city gate. The young men have stopped their music. Joy is gone from our hearts. Our dancing has turned to mourning. The crown has fallen from our head. Woe to us, for we have sinned. Because of this, our hearts are faint. Because of these things, our eyes grow dim for Mount Zion, which lies desolate, with jackals prowling over it. You, O Lord, reign over forever. Your throne endures from generation to generation. Why do you always forget us? Why do you forsake us so long? Restore us to yourself, O Lord, that we may return. Renew our days as of old, unless you have utterly rejected us and are angry with us beyond measure.
Lamentations chapter 5. This is a definition of Ghana right now. This is us. Everything is there. Head to toe. It's there. It's there in the Bible.
Our
and
inheritance has been sold to foreigners.
it has been. The Chinese is there. They're
The
there.
other foreigners occupying telecom,
And
banking.
they are doing all of it. Galamsey
Extractives.
and rosewood. Mention the wood. This is Ghana. Water is expensive, but you have rivers. This is Ghana. You will struggle to get bread because of the sword in the desert.
And pregnant women are falling into in-house mining pits, dug by themselves.
If you
houses are being cracked out.
have government friends in high places, whether they be chiefs or pastors, those who are asking us to fast and pray, share Lamentations chapter 5 with them. Me, I'm not a pastor, I can't explain it. But I saw it. I say, share it with them. And then let's see if the battle is still the Lord's. And ask Oga White, who has been quoting Bible to us, if he has read Lamentations chapter 5 yet, and why he has not quoted a portion of it to us as part of his numerous quotations from the Bible, instead of quoting, who are some of the economics people? You did economics in school, right? Business. Mention some of the names. Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
Is he an economist?
I don't know.
Adam
Please,
Smith.
Adam Smith.
in the meantime, though,
Wale Adam
in
Smith.
the meantime,
Remember.
though,
No, I mean, we'll provide
in the
that.
meantime, the Old Boys Association of Kofrodia Sectec, I'm sure you're watching right now. If we have to wait for government's intervention, it may take a very long time. So please, Old Boys of Kofrodia Sectec, it doesn't matter the year, your school needs urgent attention. Septic tank is full. They cannot use the bathroom. There's no electricity because it runs on prepaid meters. There's no money to buy electricity. That's why there's no illumination in the school. There are no roofings or coverings over the bathroom, so they stand outside to take their shower. Mosquitoes are chewing them as they study outside. And not all of your wards, if you've got wards in that school, parents, if you're watching this morning, not all of your wards are studying. There were some quarters where some of them had just gathered. They were just playing music and dancing whilst they were supposed to be studying. So if you've got wards in Kofrodia sector, please make sure that your attention goes there this morning. All school associations, please, we are calling on you to come and intervene in this matter ASAP, even before government is able to do anything about it at all.
You know, Cookie, you know why I would take what you said with a pinch of salt? The government has been living in denial. When free SHS began, the government literally abolished the parent-teacher associations that were in existence in the schools when we were in school. And these PTAs were so instrumental to the point that after each PTA meetings, they took what they call silver collection. They called on them if they needed a poly tank, whatever it is, anything. When free SHS came, government said, back off. We will do everything by ourselves. And government has consistently delayed in giving the schools the monies that they deserve to run the schools. So now the schools are crediting food and paying in arrears. The ministry itself acknowledged how much we owe in terms of food alone. So there's a problem. That's the first one. Number two, the president recently got awarded for free SHS, right? Was part of it. The funds he went to collect.
The system is not working.
Did the president acknowledge the PTAs and the parents and the old boys? Because
they are not part of the policy.
But they are not part of the policy. But I'm saying that since you started in 2017, the PTAs and the Old Boys Association, we've been sending 300, 500, some thousand, and all of that. They demand and you pay. Since that started, okay, has the government sat down to quantify what percentage of support these groupings have been able to give, so that in telling the free SHS story, we are honest and candid enough to say that, well, we said it was going to be entirely free.
Yeah.
Along the line, we had a challenge, and the PTAs that we sacked or we dissolved came to support, because parents and old boys and some of the teachers support. So they came to support, and this was how their support helped us. When we go outside to UN and other places to collect funds, minister and president, we must tell the story. That's the only way to encourage the people who you are asking to give money. We have not told that part of the story.
Yeah.
From the days when they started drinking cocoa sakura, or drinking cocoa without sugar, and they being asked to bring their own milk and sugar, when you have told the parents that they can come to school empty-handed and everything will be provided, to the days when they had to eat rice porridge in the morning, eat rice and stew in the afternoon, and maybe eat omotuo in the evening, okay, same rice staple, to the days when they only had maybe beans, so it's beans Monday, beans Tuesday, beans Wednesday, flatulence was the order of the day in the dormitories. Nobody has had the dignity to apologize and to admit that we got that part wrong.
Admit.
Because he said we're going to take 100%.
Because there are parents who can afford to
now
take care of their words in school.
That's why the conversation about all of us having a discussion
so why didn't we
how
design,
we fund this.
So why didn't we design this to just take care of the underprivileged? Maybe a handful of people who will not be able to go to school, we take care of them through free SHS. Why must it be 100% across board? And I send my ward to school to go and study to become a better person, and this is what's going on. It's just pathetic.
Yeah, we have to go for a break though. But there's something that I also observed, I think the better part of yesterday. The Ochehene seemed to be calling those who criticize the president. He says they are insult as being villagers.
Yeah, they are witches and wizards.
But we also know that this is not start today. You know, the way we describe John Dramani Mahama.
Incompetent Mahama.
And many other invectives that were showered on the former president while he was president. It's not as if he had gone into opposition.
Right.
And these things were led by leading members of the MPP at the time who are now in government. We'll take the Ochehene followed by the vice president and see whether, well, the right steps were taken and setting the right sort of examples in the first place. You know, we keep asking the questions. Well, leadership is by example.
Ahotioni ha ye yo edititi ye mpanyifo na do amenti ase suku oseko usori a usba kwa galamse na mamu ani etu ofo se sa galamse nu a oba ani ama 100 cities to emwa odachi o ebiko mudachi no na nado ama free SHS no ebedru ho ukura bachelors kura na opra platform intimidate ni woman me back as for so for the account say yenyai ni ma papa ma ye ni so de e catch say you appreciate me wa yama o man Ghana na ye so no mu emmo no ho ban atembibie no a aba obi aso na okasa no nkwase for ma ya titu yi a unye pani ya titu fifie mu asori mu a unye pani senye se kwase na wo obayifu Ebisa me nim ade a papa no a yaka wiase fa na nyina obi yaka. Onyame no hyira yin no de we man. Enti ye mpanyifo na no ye manage ni yi a Ghana nkobi ato yen. Ye ni yi a gold nyame de kye yen a ya be hu se ba bia gold ye manage ni yi by his leadership obi ato yen. Enti osofo mo na mo ko aka kire yen ahemfo.
Dear friends and brothers and sisters, people say that John Mahama is a nice man. Oh yes, he may be a nice man, but he's a nice man who you give the economy. Very soon you cannot get teacher training allowance. You cannot get nursing training allowance. You cannot pay your children's school fees. You cannot get a job to do. Agriculture will be declining. Electricity prices will be going up. Is this the sort of nice man we want? He may be a nice man, but he's an incompetent nice man. When it comes to the economy, we have to say it. The truth may be bitter, but he is an incompetent nice man. The presidency is not for nice men or women. The presidency is for doers, people who can make things happen.
And this is what Johnnie will say, show working. What did he say? The presidency is for doers, people who do, people who can do.
I think that I'm for the Ochehini, and he's one of the greatest chiefs we've had in our country.
So you think people are witches and wizards?
No, yes, and I think that, what did they say? They say charity begins at home, right? And you have to set the right sort of examples.
Right.
If you know what is good for everybody, will be good for somebody else tomorrow. But if there are concerns that have been raised in terms of the words that we spew from our mouths, and everybody sits down and says nothing. You remember Reverend Professor Mate and all the things that he said. And this was regurgitated by communicators of the party at the time, followed through by the media and the content that was delivered. Now, I think that Ochehini needs to know that the president is a president we have elected. If the president feels that criticism is tantamount or equal to is equal to insult, then we also need to know. So if you call somebody incompetent and you put all the other invectives, of course, forget about all the other things that even party communicators will say, which of course has been generated from platforms. You keep asking the question. If we set the right examples today, then a follow through from what was set as an example from yesterday. And I agree with you, Ochehini. Anybody who insults the president is a villager. What about the one who insulted the former president yesterday? You know, and I think this is a very unfortunate.
Roland,
he's a big man.
Roland,
big
you
chief.
see, me, by all means, I don't endorse insult, and sometimes I get to times.
But
say,
he's speaking in parables.
Yeah.
Roland is speaking in parables.
I mean, I know. I mean, sometimes I get to times people say, Charlie, say no, I don't insult. When somebody puts a question to you, it is not an insult. And I think that we need to get that into our psyche in this country. We are so timid in this country to the point where you sit in public transport, the driver is misbehaving, he's driving, you start talking, everybody's quiet, they're looking at you as if you are the one causing the problem. Then we will all go and die at Sawam Junction.
Yeah.
And then they count you as part of the statistics.
That's
the country we are building. And when the minister said assertive, I'm not sure he meant that we should be cowards and not ask questions. The president, all the board chairmen, all the public sector CEOs, all the appointees are fed from our taxes. Without us, they have no jobs. And let nobody come and tell me that I was a self-made man before I came into government. If you're a self-made man, stay at home. Some of you have never had jobs before. Private sector didn't find you worthy to employ. It was because your parties come to power. That's how you find jobs to do. Some of us, the private sector found us worthy to work since level 100. You have written CVs and written CVs and written CVs. Nobody gave you a chance, not even interviews. And you have been to interviews, you failed woefully. Then your party comes to power, and suddenly you think that because he gave you an appointment, without going through even the due process sometimes, because you have a godfather, a godmother, you can talk down at people. Me, I agree with you, Ochihin is big. I agree with you, Katie Hammond is big. But you see, if you cannot find food to eat, if you have been promised that your rent will be paid for you, and your rent is not paid, and you ask questions, and your questions are considered insults, that's fine. If you are promised as a parent that your child will go to school and they will get a chocolate, a mug of chocolate drink every morning, and they are not getting it, and you ask questions, and they say you are being insulting, and so you are a witch or a wizard or a villager, that's fine. After all, the president who we feed, who we clothe, who we transport, who we give per diem, whose chair is in the V8, says if we think that he has not done enough, we can go and vote for the other side. Same man who begged us 3 times. And yes, Rana Mesre. And yes, Rana Mesre. He said it. And you see, I had a shock of my life this Saturday. I went to buy LPG. We're trying to do cylinder recirculation, whatever. We are planting trees. We are doing reforestation to stop people from cutting trees and doing charcoal, right? 1 kg of LPG is 12 cedis, 125 pesos. 1 kilogram. So if you buy the 8 kg, no, don't even go to 40. 8 kg for Salamatu, living at Sabu Zongo. That's 97 cedis.
Because one is 14.
If Salah works and earns 559 as a national service person, how would Salah survive? That's a conundrum. A loaf of bread is 18 cedis at some places, 25 cedis at some places. Your minimum wage for the whole country is less than 15 cedis or thereabout. So it means that if you work the full day of your life, you can't afford a loaf of bread. Milk has not come. Sugar is not there. Whatever you want to use for the beverage is not there. Lunch has not come. Supper has not come. So people are in pain. The president should stop the trips. He should stop the tours because it's being booed and it's shameful. He should pause and talk to us as one nation. Is that too much to ask?
Not
that
at
they
all.
play the national anthem, he comes.
Not at all.
Fellow Ghanaians. He's done it before in COVID. He should be able to stop the tours because he's trying to whitewash our problems and rub mud in our faces. And the people organizing that for him are not doing him any good. The president stopped the tours. He needs to talk to us as a country and reassure us and tell us how we are getting out of this wood. Because you can't be saying to us that, oh, we will bounce back, we will bounce back. How will we bounce back? How are we going to bounce back? When you are carrying a full chair in a V8. 3 people carry 1 chair into a V8. Air-conditioned, fully fueled V8. When you talk, they say you shouldn't talk. And when you say this, they say you are insulting. What I've said thus far, what is insulting about it? And if that is why I'm a villager, a witch, a wizard, I take it. If that's why my head is coconut, I take it. But some of them wish that their children were like us, to be able to think on their feet, to speak. Even when they write scripts for them, they can't read. We know all of them.
Well, we know that over the weekend, cooking oil was trending just because of the incremental rate at which the prices of cooking oil were increasing. And you can just get onto social media and people will bear testimony to that. You get onto Twitter, it was trending, and keep asking, look, we have the realities on the ground. The questions that we need to be asking is that why is it that we have staples? We're talking about local staples that we claim that we had produced right here in Ghana. Things that we eat, maize, just basic plantain and garden eggs, etc. And the prices have skyrocketed. They definitely were not grown in Ukraine, in Russia, or not even grown in Japan. Certainly not even in Korea. And so if questions are being asked, it is because they are legitimate questions. We are beginning another trading day. And now the dollar has become a commodity of exchange. So the question that we keep asking is, while we encourage people not to be buying the USD
and hoarding,
the problem is because we have left the market to the forces, people will need to find some reclusive areas where they can find refuge. So where do I have to put my money's worth?
Last week, the dollar lost about 5 cedis, right? The cedi lost about 5 cedis to the dollar.
Straight away.
We started around the 11
12,
figure.
yeah.
By close, we were around the 15 figure.
Yeah.
We have started another trading week, like you said.
Yeah.
Are we going to 20?
It's amazing.
Or are we going to be quoting
we pray.
Bible verses?
It's a prayer that we need to
see.
Prayer,
It's
prayer.
the,
So that it doesn't go up.
The inshallah and vibes and midonyami economy, which Dr. Baumia spoke about.
Which one is the Midonya?
You know, Dr. Baumia spoke about the dollar.
And
And
said he had arrested it.
You know, back then he called the economy the midonyami economy. Roland, you remember? He said this is the midonyami economy. We have had a Sempa budget. We have had a Juma budget. We have had Impunto budget. We have had a Jinkwa budget. A lie?
True.
Where is the Sempa? Where is the Juma?
Oh, well, before 2020 was there.
Where is the Impunto?
Well,
and where is the other one?
Oh, before 2020, everything was fine.
The president
it
says...
was okay. So the guy who said, remember me, I don't even want to talk about it.
He says his life is being threatened.
It's okay.
People want to kill him. And that he wasn't told,
The one who was used for promo.
Yes, and that he wasn't told that it was going to be used as
300 Ghana cedis.
campaign material.
Kudos to
They
Joseph
just told
Armstrong for bringing that up. 300 Ghana cedis.
300 Ghana cedis, because he wasn't told that it was going to be used for or as a campaign material.
You know when the guys who did, you remember those guys? The youth of this country, they don't learn. They came to tell their same story.
He said he didn't know.
No, maybe they knew because they said they were acting. They used to shake.
Well, the president says that he believes in God.
Today,
and that he believes that because he has faith in God, God will help him.
So we will believe in what?
This too shall pass.
Okay.
This too shall pass, says the president. Yeah.